Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these awesome food dice that are inspired by the anime Delicious in Dungeon that Elf and Moon game store in Indianapolis gave me. Thanks! Let's get it started with our roll for bread. 4. Texas toast. Texas toast being double the thickness of regular bread means usually when you toast it up, the inside stays soft. I quite enjoy it, so that's definitely what we're going to do today. And there they are, ready to go. Next up, let's roll for Maine. 12. Butter the bread and re-roll. Definitely glad we decided to toast the Texas toast. This will be nice, adding butter right to warm toast. It'll also create a nice moisture barrier in case we get a Maine that's on the wetter side. Either way, happy to have butter on this one today. Hopefully it's a sign of good things to come. All right, here's our re-roll. 8. Roast beef. After decades, the age-old question can finally be answered. It's right there. Next up, let's roll for cheese. 6. Pistachio Primasale. Well, so far this is looking like a much nicer sandwich to have this sheep's cheese on. I fear it was wasted on dry tuna earlier, but on roast beef, I think I can get it with this. Next up, let's roll our roughage. 5 pickled onions and 8 lettuce. Got some lettuce fresh from the garden that I collected earlier. It'll add a nice subtle crunch. I'm a big fan of pickled red onion. The sweetness and spice from the onions melds really well with the vinegar, and this sandwich was needing a little acid. Plus, they've got a nice color. Let's get wild with our wild magic roll. 10. Chopped. All right, once we roll for our sauce, we'll come back here and chop up our ingredients, mix our sauce in, and add it back to the bread. And last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 10. Korean barbecue drizzle sauce. This is a slightly sweet and salty soy-based sauce. It's pretty good, but we got chopped, so I think I'm going to use the second sauce spell. That lets me roll 2 D20s for another sauce and take the better result. All right, here we go, rolling with advantage. Nat 20. The other one went out of the frame. It's a 5, but it doesn't really matter because I rolled a 20. So I get to pick. Well, for sure, I'm going to go with Kewpie mayo. This rich, savory mayo will add a creaminess. It'll go great hand in hand with that Korean drizzle sauce. All right, let's get the contents of our sandwich chopped up. I'm using my Alaskan ulu that was made for my wife and I as a wedding present by my uncle-in-law. Now that everything's chopped up into smaller pieces, we're going to transfer to a different container to add our sauces. I can say with a fair degree of certainty that this will probably be pretty tasty. Chopped is an interesting roll. Although it doesn't add any new flavors to the equation, it greatly changes the textural experience and the distribution of sauce. We had a dry one on Wednesday. This one will be anything but dry. The downside of the chopped roll, well, it's definitely going to make this one messy, a little harder to eat, a little harder to hold together than solid slices of roast beef and cheese. Well, we'll find out at the taste test if it was a net positive or not. All right, let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together, and let's go ahead and get it cut in half. And let's take a look at that cross-section. Well, you gotta love finishing off a sandwich on a nat 20, especially one you burnt a spell on. Hopefully, it was all worth it. Let's give it a taste. Well, it is definitely a messy one, but a tasty one nonetheless. The roast beef with that Korean drizzle sauce almost has like a beef and broccoli flavor when you add in the lettuce. The cheese and the Kewpie mayo add a nice amount of savory, and those pickled onions cut through all the fat. It's a really good mix. On top of that, we've got a thick but soft bread and a layer of butter to help it not get soggy. I think we managed to thread the needle on this one, folks. I'm giving this one a 10 out of 10. And I'm going to call it sensational. Thanks for hanging out with me this week, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again on Monday.